Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That's a hell of a way to start off the broadcast. You know, gassing out your last fucking breath. But no matter. We are here and we're going to be here for the next couple of hours. As I do have to get through the request. I knows I do. There's a link to donate. Quartering. I do have Tim Pool's version of it. He was the super hot chick from The Soprano. How much fucking makeup did this bitch have on? Yeah, basically she says that she had made more money in 1 month on OnlyFans than she did on the Sopranos. Okay, I have no idea who this bitch is. Fuck off, bitch, unless you're gonna put makeup on. But she is a whore. She is selling her body for money. That's the definition of whore.
But that's not what she is, and how dare you call her something in a defamatory...
How dare I? How dare I?
I dare anything! I am Skeletor!
Wait. Is that the Sopranos chick or not? Because if that's the Sopranos chick, boy, sweetie, you got real ugly. No, it wasn't Edie Falco. She still has a fucking career. It was the chick who played, I thought that was the chick who played Adriana Lasevich on The Sopranos. And boy, without makeup, is she ugly.
52 years old, put her beehole on the internet, and is mad that people might be calling her a hooker. Now, from what I understand,
she's
this
a
individual
hooker, a whore, a slut.
had some allegiances to the folks who didn't want to take the jab.
I wouldn't call Tim Pool a conservative commentator. He doesn't really fit the criteria. Okay, again, that photo was taken 20 fucking years ago, and she was heavily make-upped back then.
You want to join OF at 52 years old? I have way less of a problem with it.
Honestly, I don't give a shit if she joins OnlyFans at 52 years old. The only people I feel sorry for are the sons and daughters of Drea De Matteo. So, I mean, I don't really give a shit what she's doing. But she kind of plays the same fucking character. She's not a very good actress. She's just a 10.
It's an interesting career choice. You know, anytime anybody makes
choice.
A little bit of money,
of desperation. Let's be honest. Nobody's been ringing her door up for acting gigs since, again, probably The Sopranos ended or Sons of Anarchy ended. I don't know which one ended first, but... Well, yeah, most of the chicks that are on OnlyFans are sadly showing pictures of their butthole for almost no money.
having a famous name, having a current fan base, having...
No, you just have to be a 10, which is, well, not as rare as it should be. Pretty fucking rare still.
Again.
I would have been fine seeing Adriana Lasevich naked. I really have no desire to see 52-year-old Drea De Matteo naked, unless she's fucking a younger chick. You know, get a little whole mommy stepdaughter scene thing going.
It's a little different, I guess. But Tim made her very, very mad. I apologize if I mispronounce his name. Drea De Matteo blasts conservative commentator Tim Pool after he called the Sopranos star a hooker for joining OF.
Well, she's, again, kind of a hooker.
Stop taking criticisms at struggling single moms. Why don't...
Yeah, you're not a struggling single mom unless you were a complete idiot. The residuals on The Sopranos should be enough to keep you off the poverty line.
Allegedly, she hasn't been able to get jobs in Hollywood because she refused to take the jab. Maybe Daily Wire can hire her. Although they probably won't now. Look,
wait a second.
Because you refuse to take the jab.
So she's saying, okay, that controversy is deader than Dillinger. No, the reason is Drea got roles because she was hot. But now, at 52, she ain't suddenly so hot anymore. Why would I pay her money? She can't act worth a shit. I guarantee you she was stupid with her money. The amount of money she should make from Sons of Anarchy reruns and Sopranos reruns should be more than enough to keep the bitch in a reasonably, well, upper middle class life.
You know what? The real problem is the customer. I wish men would stop paying these women.
Yes, I tend to agree, but there's a problem. Men won't, and that's capitalism, baby. I wouldn't give a fucking nickel to see Drea De Matteo's dried up, used up, useless ass pussy. But plenty of Sopranos fans would. They want to see what Christopher's seen in his heroin-induced state when he went down below and ate that shit out. Hello, Emily Veronica.
Women separate lonely men from their money. They don't like you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I hold men to a higher standard. If men are that easily manipulated into releasing their money to these fucking cunts, well, then that's on them. Men should be taught to be better than this. Sorry, I have no sympathy for any guy that gives any amount of any money to anyone on OnlyFans. If you want to do it, it's your money, and when she doesn't return your calls, well, don't be fucking shocked.
They don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to sleep with you. They just want your money.
Yes, and I am fine with men learning a very harsh lesson about this. Yeah, men need to learn these harsh lessons.
It ruins men's realistic expectations of what women are like.
No, it teaches them a lesson. If they're smart, they will realize the errors of their way. If not, well, then fuck them. I'm sorry, it's not our job quartering as older men to keep younger men from doing stupid shit.
It ruins men's expectations of what dating is like. It ruins men's expectations of what bedroom activities are like.
Look, unless this OnlyFans model is taking them to bed, what I see as bedroom activity in porno films, yeah, I don't bring that into the real world. I just watched a fictional scene. All right, I'll be right back. Anyway, I mean, yeah, you are kind of a hooker at that point, but whatever, let's...
I will say that consumption of it is in general bad.
Okay, ordering why? Now, again, I'm somebody that maybe... I don't know why I preach moderation, but okay, I'm just gonna go from the male perspective here. That's all I've got. Watch a little porn, little fireman time, and once that's done, it's like, all right, that was 10 minutes well spent. Next. I mean, I guess there are guys that do sit there and just watch porn like they're watching, I don't know, The Sopranos of all things, but... But do I think that porn in and of itself is inherently evil or wrong or destructive? No.
I would rather reach out, speak to the young men or the men in general who are paying for it.
No, yeah, I would reach out and speak to the ones paying for it because there's a lot of free porn out there.
DiMatteo's astronomical earnings on OF. Again, my issue with these articles are that they paint an unrealistic picture to young women. Women are like, oh wow, she did it.
Well, again, you're correct. DiMatteo really did have, or Matteo already had an inbuilt fan base for this. And Jesus, even the fucking makeup ain't doing it anymore.
Posting on X, women deciding to be hookers instead of having real jobs is an arc I didn't expect feminism to take.
Well, actually, yeah, because feminism used to be against porn, but now apparently porn is empowering.
Now, I would argue it doesn't necessarily make you a hooker because you are, in general, you're not sleeping with people for money.
Potato. And by the way, I'd like to point out that it's DiMatteo's own hand pushing her boobs up.
Keep saving America with your big influential platform by taking cheap shots at struggling single moms, tough guy.
See, Pool was a lot nicer. It was too stupid. I just said, I love how hookers and strippers always use that single mom thing as a shield against their shitty choices. What's gonna happen when this hits your kid's fucking school, bitch? I mean, I'd have been way worse. I'd have been way worse to her than Tim Pool was. I'd have made the bitch cry. And also, DiMatteo, another thing I wanted to let you go on. Why are you a single mom? Were you married beforehand? I think you were. And why do I think you were the one that initiated the divorce? Women choose to be single moms, so I really don't give them a whole lot of fucking sympathy. By the way, thank you for the subscription or donation. Who the fuck? Okay, so apparently the first chick was Leah McSweeney, whoever the fuck that was.
What about pointing out that women are quitting their jobs through this work is see you next Tuesday worthy?
Cunt worthy? Okay. Even I have no idea what Tim Pool is talking about here. Okay, I don't see why it would be offensive to point out that selling sex on OnlyFans is hooking. What about pointing out that women are quitting their jobs to do sex work is cunt-worthy? I mean, they're using their cunts to get money, but okay, Tim, this is probably when the beanie snaps off the blood supply to your fucking brain. All right, I'm done with this, unless anybody has some major objections. I'm gonna start in on the requests, and just to be fair, I'm going to start from now. God damn it, you son of a fucking bitch ass cunt. Oh god. I'm gonna do the things in reverse chronological order. Okay, this is from Power Falcon. Oh, god damn it, and I gotta do the whole son of a bitch. You know, Power Falcon, I love you, my friend. I really love you. But I wish you'd quit giving me these sagas to go through. Or tell you what. Tell you what, I'm gonna get through the other request. I might do this one as its own separate video. I think I'm gonna have to put a caveat to that. I'm gonna do this as a separate video. Sorry, Power Falcon. Maybe I'll have to specify that. But if I got time tonight, I'll go through it. Okay, so this is LOP fans and. Okay, and he's allowed me to skip about a minute 25, so there we go. Why dating is so difficult for black... Well, let's see. You're mouthy, you're never submissive, you act like men, you give us headaches, you're argumentative... you don't act like traditional women. Any chance of getting any sort of purity out of a black woman is like pulling teeth. You know, me saying, no, you're not going with Rashonda and Teresha to the club tonight and acting like whores. Oh, you can't control me. No man can control me. You know, that shit like that. And then it's like, well, fine, bitch. Go to the club. I would just advise you have all your shit out of here. Because when you leave, I'm changing the locks. Just not for nothing. You can go. I'm not going to stop you.
We tend to date within our race more than we date outside. So
yeah, because black guys are probably the only ones too stupid to actually put up with your shit. Because, I don't know, you're easy or something.
If you are watching this video and you are a black woman, you probably understand and identify this concept, because most of us as black women, we still value and highly regard the idea of a black family, right? So that means that our...
Yeah, except black men don't want you because, well, I take that back. A good chunk of black men want you, except they're not worth a fuck.
Our parents, our families, our grandparents, they have relationships that we aspire to, right? We have relationships that we want to see ourselves in our future partners, maybe even our families. And so because we have this picture in our mind of what we envision for our own relationships, we tend to date within our race and ethnicity more so than our counterparts. Now, if I were to break it down even more, and if you guys have a little bit of time for this conversation, I definitely encourage you to pull up a seat, because let's look at the grand scheme of things. If we look at systematic racism.
Oh, of course. It can't be your behavior. It has to be the white man telling the black man to date white women. I'm sorry. Do you realize how stupid what I just said sounds? Do you realize how stupid what I just said sounds?
The number of black women to, number of black men to black women, the numbers are definitely not in our favor. And so...
Yeah, because there's literally no reason for a black man to date a black woman. She's not going to bring him peace. She's going to be a combative headache. Most of y'all still act like sluts. And finally, a lot of y'all, including yourself, are fucking overweight.
It makes it really difficult for us if we are trying to have this family lifestyle that we envision.
Yeah, the single motherhood rate and the divorce rate in the black community tends to tell a different story, my dear.
The pool is so much smaller than what is actively available, right? Because, there are more of us that end up incarcerated, unjustly so. There are more of us that get...
No, very justly so. You have had a trial.
Harmed by the police, if not killed,
No, more white people are harmed by the police, but you keep spouting your Black Lives Matter lies.
I want to be completely honest, that definitely contributes to our numbers. And so because of that, it's just far more difficult for us to have what we want in our partnerships. But this is a definite opportunity for us to consider that perhaps our dream can expand, which pulls...
We shall overcome. Oh Lord, we shall overcome.
Me up to the very next reason. So we tend to be a little bit more educated than our counterparts. So if we are also dating within our race, we are also educated and financially stable, it definitely can...
Well, one, you're not financially stable because black women are overrepresented in the welfare thing, so there's that. As for overeducated, your education is usually in bullshit. It's in stupid thing like black, lesbian, feminist, queer theory and shit like that.
Contributes to the difficulty.
Like, take a look at your books here. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. English. Just English. No, basically, you think you're pseudo-educated in a way that men generally, and I'm not just speaking for black men are all around, have no fucking time nor no fucking patience for.
That we're having in finding the kind of partner that we want.
Also, you tend to do the Fannie Willis thing. Oh, I don't need a man. A man is a partner if you want to have him. Yeah, right up until you're fucking 50, crying alone with 37 cats.
We are, let's say, for example, black.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but men need women, or women need men. Men do not need women. Because if it wasn't for men, your fucking apartment or whatever the fuck you're living in wouldn't exist.
Professional, making high six figures or above, more times than not, we are looking for our counterparts. Yes? Raise your hand if that's you, girlfriend. I see you.
Yeah, except you don't want a man that makes less than you. Problem is, the men, and the black men in particular, who make that amount of money, are just gonna pass you around like a fucking communal cigar.
I see you out there. You feel me? Now, this is not my personal preference. I am married, so my preference is in a relationship.
Then why are you making a video about dating for black women if you're married? Unless, of course, like a lot of women, not just black women, they're 5 minutes from the door anyway. This is why marriage is a sucker's bet.
Do differ from a lot of my clients. However, I will say that it is not uncommon for a lot of black professional women
Dave knows about black men. Well, I work with enough of them.
To want someone who has the same level of education and financial stability.
Yeah, except, that type of man just passes him around. And in your case, as a black woman, it's, if you do have a husband, it's just you've decided you can accept his level of cheating.
And so if we look at that and we partner that with issue number one, which is we tend to date within our race, it definitely contributes to some of the issues that we have with our dating pool, because the ratio of Black professional men to Black professional women definitely differs. So if we think
Yeah, most black professional women aren't actually professional. Most black professional men in whatever field are professional. I don't care if there's a black woman in a field, I can flip her out and get to be about the most unprofessional motherfucker on the planet, and it don't take much.
think about that in the big picture scheme, right? Only dating within our race, tend to be more educated. That definitely makes the pool significantly smaller. But in addition to that, our Black men tend to not discriminate in terms of who they date and who they prefer. So
Yeah, except white women bring the black man peace when he's at home. You don't. That's why.
if we add those two things up, it makes for a
I'm speeding her the fuck up.
really, really difficult situation for all of us. Another reason why it's more difficult for Black women to find love is that we tend to have very high standards. And before you come at me, I just want to say that there is sometimes nothing wrong with those standards. Sometimes it is the problem in itself. And I feel like there could be a whole video discussion about high standards and what standards.
Let's see. I don't know what standards you had for your eventual husband, but let's take a look at you. I don't know what kind of education you have. You probably have a master's degree in some stupid bullshit. You probably have a decent enough job, or you're probably in the higher 5 figures, maybe possibly low 6 figures. You also look like you're about 50 pounds overweight. So, the fact that you have any standards at all, my dear, and the fact that, statistically speaking, you are more likely to be bringing a child into this equation, the fact that black women have any standards at all, and you are pretty the average indicative of them, educated in some stupid bullshit field that nets them nothing, usually have a child, and are usually also about 50 pounds overweight. Yeah, where are you getting this thought that you deserve something high status?
Actually mean and whether or not they're high, but that definitely contributes to some of the difficulties that we have. Sometimes what we are looking for is not incompatible. It's not compatible. I guess incompatible is not the word, but it's not compatible with the people that we are. So, that can create its own issue in itself with trying to find a partner that is for you, right? So, for example, I like to share this often whenever I'm talking to potential clients. Just consider yourself in a type A personality. Most people who are type A are very attracted to equally type A and driven personalities, right? Dominant types, on the go, people who are very efficient, successful, driven, like goal-oriented. That tends to be like what a lot of people are attracted to. But if you are also the same person, because most people prefer to date someone who's similar to them, if you are similar, you're probably going to conflict. I can't speak today, but you're possibly going to conflict in some area of your life, whether that is the person's ability to be emotionally available or physically available.
And that's when women start to initiate divorce.
You are driven, successful, on the go all the time, climbing that corporate ladder, then you're probably going to dedicate more of your life for professional purposes than you would for personal. So let's just consider how that might impact your ability to connect with somebody like that. So in terms of standards, sometimes the standards that are high are not necessarily because they are so outside of the realm of possibility. Sometimes the standard is too high for you because it is a bit of a conflict with the person that you are and what you hope to get out of your relationship experience. Another reason why it's more difficult for Black women to find love is because we are misunderstood. Now, I will say, I have been through the journey.
No, you're not misunderstood. You just happen to come off like complete cunts.
Of microaggressions in my lifetime. Can you guys identify with that? Because there is a misconception that oftentimes Black women are angry, hard to approach.
Yeah, well, generally you are.
Not happy, disagreeable. I mean, there is a man on YouTube right now who does a whole series of black women, okay? And most of it is bullshit. So if we think about how
Well, if we're talking about Kevin Samuels, well, not anymore. He's dead. But you still haven't fucking stopped pissing on his court. And no, most of you are angry and pissed off. Again, because Black women are per capita the highest participants in single mother households.
How, people have these ideas or biases.
And also, black women are the least receptive to hearing criticism. I've heard enough of these fucking black women literally sitting there saying, well, it's possible, or I'll just manifest him when confronted with fucking reality. No, your black ass is not gonna get some guy who is 6'5", in shape, and making over $600,000 a year. If you do meet him, you are a friend with a benefit.
About us.
He is not putting that shit on your finger.
It can make it very hard for us to find people who are willing to see more about us than what meets the eye, right? Yes, we can be opinionated at times, but again, the world has set
Again, men do not like, as a general rule, opinionated women.
us up to be the people that we have become. And we are strong, but we are not, what's the word? We are strong, but we are not unbreakable. And so it's a scenario where I think that so many of us,
Well, then stop being so fucking opinionated.
we get stuck in a box. And that box isn't really meant for us. And trying to get people to see our value, to see that we are more than just attitude, more than just opinionated, it can be a hurdle all in itself. And yeah, I can talk about this for days, but that's one of the reasons why it's difficult for us. Now, this last reason why it's difficult for black women to find love is a sore subject, let me tell you, because somebody lied on somebody's app and said that we're not desirable. And because of that,
You're not. Sorry, you're not. Black women have a much higher rate of being single mothers. That's unattractive. They have a much higher rate of being argumentative. That's unattractive. They have a much higher rate of ghetto ratchet behavior. Extremely unattractive. By the way, for white Beckies, it's called trailer park behavior. Again, just as undesirable. So no, you're not really a prize. You're not really a catch. It seems more than anything, at least with modern black women, you're nothing more than a fucking headache. And that's right in this video. Okay, so we're gonna do the power fucking video. Comment on this video about Ben Shapiri and Dan Schneidery. All right.
Quiet on Set, the dark side of kids' TV, about Nickelodeon and some of the people who worked at Nickelodeon.
By the way, why are you not, as a parent, on set with your kid? Again, if I would have expressed interest in acting, my parents would have encouraged it. But if I went to a goddamn TV shoot, yeah, either my mom or my dad would have been there with me. Or some adult. Not the TV-approved fucking chaperone either. Alright. I need to go take wee and where the fuck is the goddamn shit? Oh, there's the live controls. Ain't that fucking grand? And we're back to the horrors of Nickelodeon. Again, where were the parents in this? But again, whatever.
That book was very socially conservative, and it talked at length about the attempt to mainstream sexualization of children by places like Disney and Nickelodeon.
Yeah, except, Ben, look, me and you grew up, maybe not you, but I grew up with this little thing called the Victoria's Secret catalog. Oh, every boy loved to steal that shit from their mom. Yeah, I did see that, and part of me agrees with him, and the other part of me is like, no, there are certain professions that need to end at 65. But, Ben, the whole thing with kids, it's stop being a prude.
Stuff sounds eerily like a young Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera when she claims, I think I'm pretty straightforward. I'm an honest person. If people look up to me because of that, I'm just being cool. That's cool. Being myself.
Except I never looked up to anyone that I watched on television because I knew they were fake. I looked up to real people. And I also didn't waste my time worrying about what some god would think of me. And by the way, if we want to talk about sexual perversion, your book is filled with a shit ton of it, my friend.
As Rolling Stone describes it, quote, there comes a time in the life of every teenage girl who works for the Disney Corporation when that girl realizes she has suddenly, how shall we phrase this, broadened her appeal. I talk at length.
No! She grew tits!
That Disney TV did, as well as Nickelodeon, to basically take virginal young girls and then sexualize them for a mass audience.
Yeah. These ain't the first. They won't be the last. What's your problem? They did this in the goddamn 50s. They did this with Judy Garland way back in the 30s. They did this shit with Shirley Temple. Don't give me this shit, Ben. Fuck you.
Spears quickly transitioned from a popular virgin into an even more popular Madonna imitator. Her first hit single, Baby One More Time, moved her squarely into the realm of sexuality. By the end of 1999, over 10 million copies of Baby One More Time had been sold, and Britney had posed in her 90s for Rolling Stone at the tender age of 17. The reason that I read this is because this has been a long time coming.
And also, Ben, you're gonna fuck everything up! You, Matt Walsh, and all you fucking cronies at the goddamn Daily Wire, we are this close to fucking winning for the next 30 fucking years. But you're gonna make goddamn sure to fuck that up with your stupid, dumb, bullshit morality argument. Like it or not, Ben, the guy you want for president was the executive producer of Miss Teen USA. Basically a whore show for 18-year-old girls. And God, I would love the fucking chance to run through each and every single one of you motherfuckers on this shit. We are so close to winning. I don't need your backwards sexual morality to come and fuck everything up. It took me long enough to beat it out of the old Republican Guard. And now you're right there just willing to interject it again. I don't give two shits. Look, you knew Lindsay Lohan was going to be a slut because she acted like a slut. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, all that shit, the same. And Ben Shapiro, like it or not, your fucking book has a lot of sex in it, including a lot of fucked up incestuous sex in it. But at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, humans are humans. And most of us don't give a rat's ass what some god that doesn't exist says. Sex sells. Again, we are so close to winning. Do not let these jackasses, like Ben Shapiro, like Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, the old fuck with the glasses. Don't let them at the Daily Wire fuck it all up. We are so close. Otherwise, leftist insanity will rule the day. Otherwise, Bernie Sanders is going to win. Me, I am an enemy of both extreme views. Okay? I think it is possible for a woman to use her sexuality to make money and still be a well-adjusted human being. She might have sold her chances to be to be a wife down the tubes. But I think she can still be a well-adjusted human being. As for being a mom, well, then there's another matter. But even then, I think you can work on it.
Too virginal and too virtuous and too Bible thumping. That's why this was all a problem. No, young girls coming into their sexuality to be exploited by Nickelodeon.
If they're over 18, then they choose to exploit themselves. Fuck you. And if you want to say 18's too young, well, we had to pick an age of adulthood. 18-year-old men can be signed up for the draft and sent off to war. So, again, fuck you.
Dan Schneider. He's a former Nickelodeon producer who is responsible for some of the biggest shows that were on the network.
Again. Did anybody force the cocaine up Lindsay Lohan's nose? Oh, no. She took it. This is why I don't believe in things like alcoholism, and this is why I don't believe in things like drug addiction. At some point, you had free will to do what you did.
There are a lot of critiques of Dan Schneider, even before the release of this particular documentary, including suggestive sexual jokes in shows meant for kids.
Who cares? They had... Oh, for God's sakes, they had them in Al back in the 80s, you little Jewish fuck! They had them in Al back in the 80s! They had them in Home Improvement! The only ones that didn't have was a fucking... what was that stupid fucking... back show? Oh, God. Step by Step, Seventh Heaven. Yeah, it was Seventh Heaven. They've always had those jokes in there. The ones that go under the kid's head, but the parents get. Or over the kid's head and the parents get. Whatever. Doesn't matter. They've had that shit forever, Ben. Fuck off.
There are a lot of examples of Dan Schneider.
And how Ren and Stimpy had jokes that were for adults. Fuck off. This is where Ben Shapiro really pisses me off. I don't mind him on tax proposals and shit like that, but this is where he pisses me off. Oh, yeah, not to mention, yeah, the dad from Seventh Heaven was a piece of shit that needs to be in jail for the rest of his life.
These kids. So, for example, here is some video of Dan Schneider in a hot tub with Amanda Bynes, who is underage.
Welcome to my exclusive. Today my special guest is the executive producer.
All right, but he's fully clothed, so... Again, what would be the difference between this and him being in a pool with her? A hot tub with the bubbles on. Party! Hot tub with the bubbles off. Bath with friends.
The Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Executive producer of the show.
Again, I'm seeing nothing sexual about this. They're in a hot tub. Whoopty shit. Oh, God, I've got to fucking argue. I mean, you could argue creepy. Especially since he's fully clothed. But I'm not seeing anything. How many? Oh, God, I've only done 3 minutes of this shit.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
We actually wrote the words for saying to each other right now.
Yeah. Yes, I wrote
Yeah, I don't know. The clothes...
this whole conversation that we're having right here.
Sincerely, the executive producer.
Give me an IC. Can we have an IC before sent to the executive
So,
producer?
creepy and weird. Creepy and weird. He also wrote scenes for people like Ariana Grande, who, of course, has become now a big sex symbol. And this was considered totally okay.
Except Ariana Grande is like 26, so who cares? You know, Ben, I really like to be on your side, but again, you're one of the most prudish motherfuckers on the planet. So forgive the flying fuck out of me, Yarmulke boy. I didn't see, I mean, I could see creepy vibes, but I didn't see anything that wrong.
From Dan Schneider at her 18th birthday party. Here's what that looked like.
Now look, honestly, in trying to figure out what I could say today about Miss Miranda for her birthday, I come to the conclusion that what you can say is, what can't you say? I mean, honest to God, I could go on and on.
She's like,
about
I
all the
wish you were
wonderful
not holding my
qualities
shoulder
about
right
Miranda,
now.
But I know
It's like
time
Joe Biden
permits,
with a small girl.
And I will consolidate it
But
to
yeah,
just this one
this is,
thing. In all the years I've known Miranda, I guess 9 years
she's like desperately
now,
trying to...
she hasn't changed. Miranda hasn't changed one bit. All those awesome qualities that she had when she was 9 years old.
There she is,
all
trying
the
to edge away
goodness, all
slowly.
those smiles.
Okay, so you just cut everything completely out. By the way, she seemed perfectly comfortable getting hugged by him. Again, Ben, it's possible for women to have sexuality too. It's also possible for women to want older men. Or are you going to find that out after your daughter turns 18 and I fuck the shit out of her?
Again, Hollywood is filled, unfortunately, with perverts. There are a lot of perverts in Hollywood. That's just the reality. That's been true for legitimately decades on...
Yeah, except you don't need to get goddamn permission for every fucking touch, every fucking hug, every fucking nuzzle, every fucking this, every fucking that. Every fucking nuzzle. Music dies. Fuck off. And by the way, it seems to only work to one gender. When some young man is being cuddled by an older female director, nobody says a goddamn thing about it, so fuck you. And also, I don't care.
And going all the way back to Fatty Arbuckle. But weirdos and creeps hanging around kids, that's also been a long rumored thing in Hollywood, and that's been largely ignored. Here's Dan Schneider's apology video.
Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult.
This is my thing. I apologize for nothing. You didn't have a problem with it at the time. So I apologize for nothing. And that's where I'm going to end this video. I've done my time on it. Alright, so these are some
ice cream bread from 70.
Fireman time! 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 Fireman time!